Well, hello and welcome here from the beach. Well, we're not really at the beach, we're actually in the clinic, but Joseph and I were at the beach here the other day, and so I took some film of it, and so we've got it as a nice backdrop today. One of the other features that you will have no doubt immediately noticed is that I'm not wearing a shirt, and you have to ask yourself the question, well, why on earth is Neil not wearing a shirt? He's normally properly clothed when he's doing these videos. So what I wanted to talk to you about was progress. So the purpose of this video here today is about progress. So the other factor of not wanting to wear a shirt today is that it's the 30th of December 2014 as I make this video, and today we are close to 40 degrees centigrade or about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's hot, it's really hot, and being able to actually be without your shirt on is particularly desirable. So here I am. I've lost 22 kilograms. And I was just actually put myself on the scales here a moment ago, and I've lost 22 kilograms since my heaviest weight, and whilst I'm still nowhere near what you would consider to be a gym figure, I don't have a gym figure, I'm very pleased with the progress that I've actually made in the trim program as I've actually been applying it to myself, which of course is exactly the same way that we're applying to yourselves as you're actually following through with trim. So self-image is a really key thing. Even to this day I don't like to be photographed with my shirt off, and there is another photograph which will be on the video here around about now of me standing next to the swimming pool cleaning it. And you know, that photograph was taken on me. I was very unhappy about that photograph being taken. As you can see, I spent the whole time sucking my stomach in while I was having that photograph taken, and yet, you know, I was just very, very unhappy about it. And I'm sure if you're watching this video that you're like me, you don't like being photographed. You don't like people seeing how you look, and you know, it's a key critical factor to become accepting and happy with how you look regardless. So as you go through the trim program, you are going to end up being a lot trimmer. That's the end game of the whole program, is that you'll end up trimmer, and in the process you're going to become much happier with how you look. So not so much that you're happier because you're looking trimmer or that you are trimmer, you're going to become much happier with how you look because you're going to have far greater self-acceptance. So you will be accepting yourself as you are to a much greater degree. So a little bit more on my own progress. As I say, I've lost 22 kilograms, which is it's nearly somewhere between a quarter and a fifth of my body weight. I'm now sitting at the point where I would be considered to be a healthy weight. Now that might seem a bit strange because I'm still carrying a little bit of weight around here, and you know, particularly these little wing bits that are under here. But because I've got such skinny legs, which you can't see at the moment, and skinny arms, it means that the distribution of the weight around my body means that I am actually just sitting on the edge of a healthy weight. There are other ways of actually measuring whether you are a healthy weight, and that relates to body fat in relationship to you know, body mass in general, and which can be measured in a number of different ways. Interestingly, very interestingly, where I have actually really been losing the weight has been the abdominal fat, and I don't mean the stuff which is sitting around on the outside, so you can see there's bits sitting around on the outside here. I don't mean that fat, which has been reducing, but it's the actual fat, the visceral fat, the fat that's sitting inside the musculature in and around the organs. Now, we know from you know, very good research that that fat sitting around the viscera, when there's too much of it, you need some, you need to protect the organs and so on, but if there's too much of it, it's an indication of major problems in your body, particularly relating to diabetes, heart disease and so on. And that weight, that fat, has really rationalised inside my body. Now, if I had the money, I'd go and have an MRI taken of myself now, just so that I had a proof point to show people, but I'm not going to spend that much money on it. I can assure you, however, that the visceral fat has really reduced within my body to the point where it's actually very healthy. So the amount of visceral fat that I actually have sitting around my organs, so between here and here, is actually at a stage where it's very, very healthy now. So enough about me. Where are you up to, and you know, why are you not getting the results seemingly that I'm getting? Well, you have to remember that I actually began this trim journey 2 years ago. So I've been working with these ideas and developing the consciousness approach to a healthy weight some 2 years ago, and it's been a steady decline in all of that period of time. So with this approach that we're talking about here, you're whittling off one at a time all of the consciousness issues which are making you hold on to your weight, and this stuff doesn't happen overnight unless you're an exceptional case. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible for it to happen overnight. It certainly wasn't what happened to me. And when we look at the original research group that I worked with, 106 people, the great majority of which had tremendous results. There were some, and some of them are actually sitting on this trim program right now, who didn't have great results, but the great majority did. In their situation and in my situation, it took months and months and months for the weight to get down to the point where it was actually a healthy weight. I should say that there are some people who were on the original research group who didn't actually get all the way down to a healthy weight, or in fact even notice a significant change in their weight, that have completely bailed out of the program, so they're not part of trim at all anymore now. So you know, if I have a regret, I don't really have regrets about what other people are choosing to do, but if I were to have a regret, my regret is that I've lost them out of the program. So I sent out a Facebook message the other day to the trim group about, you know, when you can expect to see results, and I thought I'd make this video with my shirt off so that you could you know, actually see me exposed on a number of different levels on the subject, because it's a subject to which I'm very touchy about. You know, when are we going to see results? And my intuition, I'm not a psychic, so I don't read the future as such, and yet I'm confident that at week 7 that you're going to see some very significant changes occurring within your body. Now, whether that means that all of the weight's going to melt off you, I don't believe that that will be the case. However, what I do believe will be the case is that you're going to see very significant changes within your bodies. Now, I would think, you know, percentages are funny things, but I would expect it would be completely reasonable to say that 90+% of the, you know, the early adopters of trim, who are all the recipients of this video, have in fact actually had significant changes within their body already. And for most of you, they were actually beginning to occur within week 1. Now, that doesn't equate to a whole lot of weight dropping off, but they are very, very significant changes that are occurring within your body nonetheless. So the sorts of things that have been changing physically, so we're talking about physical changes that are going on, because obviously the focus of trim is really on all the consciousness stuff, but the actual physical changes that people have been reporting is a completely different functioning of the fluid metabolism around their body. Energy metabolism is completely different. Emotional stress hormone matters have changed completely, so people are reporting huge changes in their anger, anxiety, resentment. Also, many people are reporting changes around appetite as well, and it's curious because we're not anywhere near the point, well, most people aren't up to the stage in the trim program where appetite is coming up. I think there's only one person who's up to appetite at the moment. So there have been many changes actually in the physiological processes within the body, and the actual, and for some people there's anatomical changes occurring as well. So I want you to, as a passing shot, I want you to remember that trim is an 18-week program. It's an 18-week program. So just realize that you're not expecting all the weight to disappear instantly. As I say, it took a very much longer period of time, but then of course I've developed the techniques of trim much more significantly since. I'll point out, you know, as I'm making this video here, I've still not made any change to my exercise regime. I've still not made any changes to my diet. I'm still eating, you know, bread and all that kind of stuff, which is no way that you would consider it to be the perfect food. And yet, you know, here we are. This is the changes that are occurring within my body. And I absolutely assure you that my psychology and all of these other consciousness matters have improved dramatically as a result of trim as well. So thanks for watching, and I promise I'll have my shirt on for the next video. Thanks a lot.